Cursor AI versus code, are IDEs becoming obsolete? Hook, the IDE extinction event. Visual Studio Code is already dead, you just don't know it yet. Cursor AI and a new generation of intelligent editors are doing something versus code fundamentally can't. They're actually writing code for you in real time. We tested both side by side for a week, and what we discovered completely changes how developers should think about their tools. Here's what happened. Look, I know that's a bold claim. But here's the thing: AI native editors aren't just regular editors with a chatbot glued on. They're fundamentally different in how they understand your code. In the next 10 minutes, you're getting a real head-to-head comparison. Speed benchmarks. Workflow tests. Actual results from a full week of building with both tools. And honestly, the debate around Cursor AI editor versus code AI code editor replacing traditional IDEs is one every developer needs to pay attention to right now. Because your productivity in 2025 might depend on which side you choose. Let's get into it. The problem: why AI features alone aren't enough. Here's the reality most developers won't admit. VS Code's AI experience? It's an afterthought. You install GitHub Copilot. Maybe you add Codium. You get inline suggestions. You get a chat panel. And yeah, it works. But it always feels like an add-on. Because it literally is one. The architecture of a traditional IDE was never designed to pass deep context to an AI model in real time. You get context window limitations. You get latency spikes where you're sitting there waiting for a suggestion that arrives 2 seconds too late. And the biggest friction point? You're constantly switching modes. You're coding. Then you stop coding to talk to the AI. Then you go back to coding. It breaks your flow every single time. That's the gap Cursor is trying to close. And honestly, they're doing a pretty incredible job. Cursor AI Editor, the game changer. Cursor was built from the ground up as an AI-first editor. That distinction matters more than you think. The killer feature is Cursor's symbol system. You type at and you can reference specific files, functions, documentation, even your entire codebase as context. The AI doesn't just see the file you're in, it sees the full picture of your project. Let me show you what that looks like in practice. In this demo, I asked Cursor to refactor a React component name across 5 files. It identified every import, every reference, every prop, and generated the changes in about 4 seconds. In VS Code with Copilot, I had to do each file manually, prompting the chat each time. That took almost 2 minutes. The speed advantage isn't subtle. Cursor's inference feels instant because the AI pipeline is baked into the editor itself. There's no round trip to an extension API. No waiting for a sidebar to load. But wait, there's a catch with Cursor that nobody talks about. The free tier is limited. You get a set number of premium AI requests per month, and once you burn through those, you're either paying $20 a month for Pro or you're stuck with slower models. For hobbyists, that's fine. For professional developers writing code 8 hours a day? You're going Pro. No question. Still, even at $20 a month, if it saves you an hour a day? That's the easiest ROI calculation you'll ever do. VS Code with AI, still competitive? Okay, so I just spent 2 minutes hyping Cursor. Time to be fair. Here's where the comparison gets interesting, and VS Code wins. GitHub Copilot has gotten significantly better in the last year. Copilot Chat now supports workspace-level context. The inline suggestions are faster. And the new Copilot Edits feature is starting to close the gap on Cursor's multi-file editing. But the real advantage versus code holds? The extension ecosystem. Cursor is built on a VS Code fork, so most extensions work. Most. Not all. And when you need a niche debugger, a specific language server, or enterprise-grade Git tooling, VS Code's ecosystem is still unmatched. For enterprise teams especially, where everyone needs identical environments, where IT controls what gets installed, where compliance matters, versus code with Copilot Business is still the safer bet. It's not exciting. But it's real. Speed test and real workflow comparison. Alright, let's talk numbers. We ran 3 tests over 1 week. Test 1, code generation speed. We gave both editors the same prompt: generate a REST API with authentication in Node.js. Cursor completed it in 11 seconds with working code. VS Code plus Copilot took 18 seconds, and we had to fix one import manually. Test 2, context recall. We asked both editors questions about functions to find 3 files deep in a project. Cursor nailed it every time because of the @codebase feature. Copilot Chat got it right about 70% of the time and occasionally hallucinated function signatures. Test 3, and this is the surprising one, debugging. VS Code 1. And it wasn't close. Cursor's debugging experience is essentially VS Code's debugger because, again, it's a fork. But Copilot's integration with the debugging panel, its ability to explain stack traces inline, and the new fix with Copilot button on error messages? That workflow is genuinely smoother. If you're thinking of switching right now, stop and watch this part first. Because debugging is where you'll spend 30% of your time, and the tool that helps you there matters a lot. The unexpected truth, when traditional IDEs still win. Let's zoom out even further. This isn't just Cursor versus VS Code. JetBrains IDEs, IntelliJ, Pycharm, WebStorm are still dominant for specific languages. If you're writing Java or Kotlin professionally, nothing touches IntelliJ's refactoring tools. Not Cursor. Not VS Code. Nothing. Enterprise lock-in is real too. Companies don't switch IDEs overnight. They have licensing agreements, custom configurations, onboarding documentation, all built around specific tools. And team collaboration? Cursor hasn't solved that yet. VS Code has live share. JetBrains has Code with Me. Cursor has nothing comparable right now. One more thing. People keep saying Cursor is easier for beginners. I actually disagree. Cursor is powerful, but its power comes from knowing how to prompt well. A beginner who doesn't understand code structure won't suddenly become productive because an AI is writing code they can't evaluate. Which one should you switch to? Here's my honest recommendation based on a week of real testing. If you're a solo developer or freelancer building in JavaScript, Python, or TypeScript, try Cursor. The speed gains are real and immediate. If you're on an enterprise team with existing infrastructure, stick with VS Code and upgrade to Copilot Business. The ecosystem and compliance story is better. And here's the strategy almost nobody talks about: use both. I use Cursor for greenfield projects and rapid prototyping. I use VS Code for debugging and maintaining legacy code bases. Different tools for different jobs. For my broader workflow, I plan projects in Notion, generate marketing copy with Jasper AI, and create thumbnails and diagrams with Canva. I use all 3 daily alongside my code editor. Links are in the description if you want to check them out. The honest truth? Cursor is the future. But VS Code isn't going anywhere for at least 3 to 5 years. And traditional IDEs like JetBrains will outlast both for specialized work. Bonus, hidden features both editors miss. Before you go, 2 tips that will level up whichever editor you choose. Cursor power tip: in your prompts, use the phrase "follow the existing patterns in this codebase" before any generation request. Cursor will match your coding style, naming conventions, error handling patterns, everything. Most power users don't even know this works. VS Code power tip: check out the extension Continue. It's an open source Copilot alternative that lets you connect any LLM, including local models. It's free, it's fast, and for privacy conscious developers, it's a game changer. And what's coming next? In 2025, expect both Cursor and Copilot to ship agentic coding, where the AI doesn't just suggest code, it runs it, tests it, and iterates autonomously. That's when things get truly wild. Outro. The IDE wars aren't really about IDEs anymore. AI won. The only question is which AI-powered tool fits your workflow best. If this comparison helped you decide, smash that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more developers who need to hear this. Subscribe if you want more AI tools breakdowns and productivity deep dives. We've got a JetBrains AI versus Copilot video coming next that you won't want to miss. I also put together a free comparison spreadsheet with setup guides for both Cursor and VS Code plus Copilot, everything we tested, all the configs, all the prompts. Grab it from the Gumroad link in the description. Now drop a comment. Are you switching to Cursor, sticking with VS Code, or using something else entirely? I read every single comment and I want to know where you stand. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.